Hi, so we wrapped up another Board of Supervisors Day meeting today, and so I'm going to run through some of the highlights, key decisions, and things that happened. So we started out with a number of proclamations recognizing some great organizations, businesses. So we recognized the 45th anniversary of Habitat for Humanity Tucson by declaring today, October 6th, World Habitat Day in Pima County. We also recognized the start of Hispanic Heritage Month from September 15th to October 15th. And also recognized Los Jarritos Mexican food restaurant. It was the 31st anniversary of Mariscos Chihuahua, so their whole family was present today. And we also acknowledged National Adult Education and Family Literacy Week. We appointed a few new members to the Library Advisory Board from District 3. I do want to really acknowledge the work that Sharon Foltz, who's one of the outgoing District 3 appointees on the library board. And then we brought on both Patrick Andrews and Francis Benavides, who I had the great opportunity to sit down and meet with this past weekend. And I'm really excited for their leadership being on the Library Advisory Board. We also approved some affordable housing gap funding for 3 different projects. One was the Lariat Village Housing Project, which is creating 32 rental units. So it's a multifamily housing complex that will be serving folks that are in the 30 to 70% of the area median income range. We also approved, and for that it was a contract expense from the county for $673,000, and then a revenue of a little over $1 million. We also awarded a contract of $1 million to Habitat for Humanity Tucson for the Mars Landing home ownership project. This is 33 bedroom homes in District 3 that families are able to purchase that are at or below 80% of the area median income. And then we also approved the Barrio Anita Casitas, which is through the land trust model. And so it's 6 single family homes for home ownership, also eligible for folks who are at or under 80% of the area median income. We renewed the contract today. It was a 2-year contract for NAFCare. NAFCare is the health provider inside the Pima County Jail. We approved the contract for just 2 years with an understanding that there was some clarification from my colleagues that the board had actually not voted on transitioning out from private to public health care, but what we have done is mapped out a plan of what it would take to transition from a private healthcare provider in our jail to bringing that service in-house, all or most of the services in-house. This is because, and as you may know, one of the things that compelled me to run for this seat was the fact that the Pima County Jail, as of the data from a couple years back, had amongst the highest per capita death rates amongst jails in the United States. The healthcare that we provide to people who are incarcerated should not in any shape and form be driven by profit motive. So I voted for the 2-year contract because I do believe that we are on a path to both transition up, when one goes up, the other goes down. The contract includes a provision that I believe it's with 120 days notice we can get out of it. And so I look forward to continuing to explore what that transition could look like and other ways in which we can protect the health and the dignity of folks in the Pima County Jail. We also notably, we had on the agenda of discussion and approval of Pima Prospers, which is the county's kind of 10-year land management plan. That was taken off from the agenda for today, and it will be on our October 14th agenda, which is just giving more time for board review and discussion with staff prior to it coming up to the board for a full vote. We had on, those were really the big items. We actually wrapped up pretty early today compared to other days. We had, as you could see if you looked at the agenda, there were a couple of items that were on executive session. One was about, it says, for legal advice and discussion related to the legal ramifications of code text amendments. That is the policy that our office had introduced about requiring conditional use permits for data centers, large water, and energy users as part of our zoning code. The other executive session item, and I'm just reading from what was on the agenda, was for legal advice and direction related to Project Blue. And that was put on the agenda by Supervisor Kano and myself. And so obviously things that are discussed in executive session, we don't discuss publicly. I will note that the team from Beale has been back around, and I think this has been discussed in the press. They have been requesting meetings with county supervisors. They have met with some of my colleagues. I am meeting with some of the folks from from Beale tomorrow. I have heard that they are going to be announcing something tomorrow about what their kind of the new scope of their work or project might be. That's what I'm hoping that the announcement is, so that we know kind of what it is that they've got going on. So I will elaborate kind of more based on more information that I get. I've said this kind of many times before and in different ways. I have spent 30 years working with immigrant communities, border communities, indigenous communities, low-income families. I've been to so many meetings with developers of all different sorts, from military bombing ranges, folks that want to extend building border wall constructions, gold mining expansions, dam projects. And the thing that I have just learned is that when folks show up waving around a lot of money with a lot of promises and putting a lot of shiny objects on the table, not to believe them, and to dissect what the impacts will really be on folks that are often pushed to the margins, and what the effects will really be on our air, our land, our water, and the future sustainability, right, of our climate. Given the circumstances in which we are operating right now, all of that is so much more important than ever. So, I have been opposed to Project Blue from the get-go, and continue to be deeply concerned about what it could mean for our community to open the door, and hopefully not the floodgate, to data centers, for the impacts for many reasons on our community. So, we will continue to try to learn more about what Beale is thinking about doing on the 290 acres of land that they purchased and contracted right from the county. So more to come on that, and I guess that's it. Thank you all for listening, and always please reach out with any suggestions, ideas, feedback, anything else. Look forward to hearing from you soon. Thanks.